Most people think you need some crazy strategy to invest real money, and you don't. You just need a plan that works even when motivation is low, and markets can be extremely boring. You got to stick to that plan. So in this video, I am breaking down my exact plan to invest $40,000 in 2026, and how you could apply the same framework at any income level. So, how much do you want to invest in 2026? Comment down below. Now, one thing I want to make very clear in this video is this money is not invested all at once. This is invested throughout the year, and this is not me trying to brag or flex. There are always going to be bigger fish out there. I might invest $40,000. There's another 27-year-old out there investing $80,000 or $100,000 or $200,000, and that goes for any income level. So this is not me trying to flex at all. This is just me being transparent with you guys in this goal of $40,000 that I am trying to invest and how I am going to reach that. And at the end of the day, this comes from living within my means, having that consistent income, any type of bonuses, and it is mainly just discipline that is going to get me there. And one thing I have to emphasize is I did not start out investing this amount. I was not even close to investing this amount like 5-6 years ago. I was investing maybe $100 a week or, $200 a week. So it would be like $3,000 a year or $5,000 a year or $10,000 a year. It was not until the last couple years where my income started to grow where I could start investing more money. Now, if I want to invest $40,000 this year, that means that every month I need to invest $3,333, and I am paid bi-weekly. So I will have a couple of months where maybe I get above that average because of the extra paycheck. But one of the main things I need to keep an eye on is my spending. Because if I spend a lot of money, if I am dumb with my money, or if I am not planning things ahead of time, then I am not going to hit this goal. It is just that simple. And one of the key principles to my investing strategy is my goal is not to maximize short-term returns. I do not care if this money does well this year. All I care about is that I can invest this amount of money. And I know that if I am consistent, my money is going to grow long-term over a 5, 10, 20-year period. The goal here is to invest consistently regardless of what the market does. Even if it goes up or if it tanks and it goes down, I want to avoid panic decisions. I want to be very consistent about my investing, and this is going to help me build momentum along the way. And one of the key things when it comes to investing is I am not sitting here trying to buy individual stocks. I am not even trying to really beat the market. As long as I get the market return, I am very happy with that. But I truly believe that when it comes to investing, it is mainly psychology and discipline. It is really just coming down to how consistent you are and can you hold your own during the storm. If the market drops 30% this year, are you going to sell your stocks? Are you going to panic? Or are you going to keep investing consistently? And that is one thing I actually love about investing. You do not have to be the smartest person of all time. You just have to be very consistent, and you have to be a little bit calculated as to what investments you pick. But for me, as you guys know, if you watch my Road to a Million net worth videos, I mainly invest in the S&P 500. Most of my portfolio is in that, but I do have a little bit in SHD as well as VUG. Now these are all ETFs. It is basically just a basket of stocks if you have never heard of that. And so, that is the current setup of my portfolio. Now, let us actually break down the buckets in which how I am going to get that $40,000 invested. The first thing I am going to try to do this year is only put my money in the S&P 500. Now, like I just said, my money is invested into 3 different ETFs, VO being one of them, which is the S&P 500, but I also have SHD and VUG. I think I am just going to let them do their own thing and see how they grow over time. SHD gives me the cash flow and the dividend income, and then VUG is more tech-focused. So I do get capital gains if we continue to see this tech bull market. Now, in 2025, I invested a little over $33,000. So in 2026, in reality, I actually only need to invest $31,600. And let me explain why and the math behind that. The main reason for this is because I just got my 401k match, which they are going to match 6% of my salary. If I make $140,000 this year, that is $8,400 in my 401k match. So if you take the $40,000 minus that $8,400, you get $31,600. So I actually only need a monthly average of $2,633. So that 401k match is going to help out big time. And that is one thing I would highly recommend utilizing when it comes to investing, is if your company offers a match, make sure you are at least getting the match there because like I said, it is free money. I invest $8,400 and my company matches that $8,400, which is great. Now, the thing that is interesting with my company's match is I actually won't see that money until the very end of the year. So December, I will have a very large deposit, which is the 401k match kicking in. But throughout most of the year, I am still going to just be putting 6% in. I maybe will get a raise hopefully sometime soon, we will have to see. But in the meantime, we are going to stick that 140,000 at 6% there. And in regards to how I prioritize my investments, I am definitely putting that 6% in the 401k. And then my first goal here is to max out the Roth IRA, which is going to be $7,500. But I do not think I am going to max my Roth IRA this first month. It will probably take me, I am assuming, 3 or 4 months. So after I put in the 6% of my salary, which is $8,400, then they are going to match it. That is $16,800. And then we max out the Roth IRA at $7,500. This means that left over I need to invest $15,700 into my brokerage. Now, like I said, my goal this year is to invest entirely into the S&P 500. So whether that is through my 401k, just buying the S&P 500, or just buying VO or VO like what I have been talking about already. And although it seems extremely boring and the average annual return is around 10% when it comes to VOO, I think that this is a great strategy long term regardless of what the market does. And my goal is to invest as much as possible as soon as possible. And a lot of people may hear this and go, man, that is super boring. I do not care about you investing into the exact same thing bi-weekly. Like, give me a break. And I get it. Honestly, it is not an exciting thing. But it is not supposed to be exciting. It is supposed to be consistent because I am here to build real wealth. Like I said, I am not focused on short-term gains. I am not even focused on medium-term gains. I just care about the long term here. And I do feel like when you invest consistently, it removes emotion out of these things. In dollar cost averaging, it is a form of very strong discipline. It is not necessarily a strategy. Obviously, we all know lump sum beats dollar cost averaging, but I am just trying to invest as consistently as possible, and I am not ever going to try to sit here and time the market. Because like I say in a lot of videos, time in the market beats timing the market. I do not care if the market drops 5%. I do not care if it goes up 20%. I do not care if it drops 40%. I am just investing consistently. I am not trying to sit here and buy the dip and then sell out when it gets a good rally going. It is just all about this long-term consistency because having rules and a strategy that beats the emotions. When people tend to make the most mistakes in investing, it is when they are the most emotional. And people tend to get very emotional when they see their portfolio dropping 10, 20, 30%. And a lot of people could sit here and go, well, of course you are saying that, man, the market has had back-to-back-to-back green years that have been great, but are you actually going to invest when the market drops? Yes, I absolutely will. I did it in 2020, I did it in 2022, and I will show you guys again this year if it were to drop. And so I am not trying to time the market, I am just trying to be consistent. And I know I am beating the hell out of this word, but it is just the truth. That is how you really build wealth here. Now, what I am not doing in 2026, and I feel like this is very important, is I am not going to try to day trade. Even if I get a ton of profit off my investments, I am not going to sell and then start day trading the money. I am not going to start buying options hoping that they go to the moon and then I can make a ton of money and turn my 100,000+ portfolio into $1 million overnight. That is not what I am trying to do. I am not going to use any leverage. I am not going to go buy the next hype stock. I really do not care. And I am definitely not going to be chasing last year's winners. Like I said, I do not even own any individual stocks anymore. I feel like one of the hardest things that people do not understand when it comes to investing is you just have to kind of sit on your ass. Like, if you do not make a ton of decisions, if you are not constantly buying and selling and you hold very long term, there is a good chance you will do well, especially when you are holding really high quality ETFs. Now, what could actually go wrong here, and how do I plan on managing these things? Now, the first thing, like I said, is the market downturn. The market could have a horrible year. I am very surprised we have had back-to-back-to-back super green years. It was not like we have gone up 3%, 5%. It was like 20-something percent, 20-something percent, 16 or 17%, like really big gains the past couple of years. And so if we did see a flat year or a pullback, it really would not surprise me, but I am not trying to predict the future, which is why I am just dollar cost averaging consistently. So yes, the market could tank. One of the key things if the market does drop, or if we were to go into a big recession or a financial crisis, is trying to keep my job. So I am trying to be as valuable as possible on the team that I work on and at my job. That way, if layoffs come around, they think to themselves, hey, we cannot get rid of this guy, we need him. And I think that is a very important thing to try to do, especially if you are a little worried about the economy. Now, if we were bouncing back and if things were all good, then maybe I would not have to stress about that as much. But it is something I try to do is work as hard as possible, and although I do not believe that these corporations care about me, I do think making yourself extremely valuable and hard to get rid of is only going to help you if we do go through any type of financial crisis. So that is the first thing that can happen. The second thing that can happen is lifestyle inflation. I even talked about that, I think not in the last video but the one before. I need to make sure that I am planning better when it comes to my money. Whether that is planning vacations or if I am going out and I am getting drinks, making sure that, I only get one or two. I am not sitting there buying a bunch and I am not just, throwing money down the dump. I want to be very intentional about my spending this year, whether that is going out to eat, whether that is traveling, regardless of what that is. And I am very happy with the salary I make, and I am very grateful for the salary I make. Last year, I did not get my bonus, so this year, that should be kicking in February. I will find out actually pretty soon, so we will have to see there. And so, I do need to be very smart about when I get that money and what I am going to do with it entirely. But lifestyle inflation is something I want to avoid, and I need to make sure I am holding myself accountable. That is part of the reason I actually created that Road to a Million Network series. That way I am looking at my investing rate each month, because if one month it is at 25 or 27 or 30%, and then the next month it drops to 15%, that is basically my way of saying, damn, you gotta chill out on the spending. You went a little too hard last month, and so that is one way to hold myself accountable. That way I do not let lifestyle inflation get the best of me, because it typically tends to happen very small over time. It is not like it happens overnight and all of a sudden you are just spending money just left, right, and center. It is typically you spend a little bit and then a little bit more and then a little bit more. And before you know it, your monthly expenses have gone up quite a bit. So I do hope that this is very motivating, but I know that also starting out, you are sitting here like, dude, I am not even close to investing $40,000. I am only going to invest $1,000 this year, or $500, or maybe $3,000. So why does any of this matter to me? And honestly, that is a valid point. But one thing I want to make very clear is it is all about your investing rate. And over time, as your income grows, if you can maintain that investing rate, like I said, when I was 21, 22 years old, I was not investing anywhere close to $40,000. I was investing like $3,000 or $5,000 a year. But I knew that over time, if I could grow my income and try to keep the same investing rate, where I am basically looking at my investments divided by my after-tax income. Let us say I kept that at 20%, and then your income goes from $50,000 to $100,000 a year. You are going to be investing a lot more money. So, it is really about trying to keep that investing rate around the same percentage and then building really good habits, because I feel like it is a lot better to invest consistently than to save up a little bit of cash and then just lump sum a bunch of money hoping that the market drops at any time. And I know a lot of people disagree with this strategy, but for me, this is just what works. And I am not a financial advisor. This is not professional financial advice. But like I said, it has worked for me, and I have grown my portfolio to $140,000. So, it does work very well. And when it comes to investing, it is better to start now than to be perfect. You are going to make mistakes at the beginning. You are going to make mistakes along the way. I even occasionally make mistakes these days, but it is all about starting out, being consistent, and learning from those mistakes. And moving on, and when it comes to your investing rate, try to just keep it at a certain percentage or around a certain percentage, whether it is 20% of your income or 25 or 15, whatever that looks like for you. And try to keep that super consistent. And then over time, as you see that consistency, try to figure out ways to grow your income if possible. And when it comes to my Road to a $1 Million Net Worth series, the portfolio is a very large part of it. That is most of my net worth. It is around 61%, I think, if I remember right. And this year is just one stepping stone to get to that $1 million mark. I am not going to have some single year that is going to make me super rich. I really do believe that the direction you are going in is a lot more important than the speed you are going in. And so, regarding my Road to a Million series, the goal this year is going to be $40,000. If we can hit that, that would be great. Like I said, that 401k match is going to kick in December. We also have 2-3 paycheck months. So that is going to be, I think it is July and December. I could be wrong though, but those will also help because I typically budget on 2 paychecks. So if I get an extra one, that is also going to help with my investments. We are going to throw all of our money into Vote. We are going to get that 401k match. We are going to max out the Roth if we have a lot of money left over with the bonus. We will just have to see. That is the goal though. And like I said at the beginning of the video, and I will reiterate again, this is not me trying to flex. This is not me trying to brag. This is just the situation I am in and how I am going to try to reach my goals. And one thing I try to do every year is if I cannot necessarily increase my income, if I could find a way to decrease my expenses, that way I can find a way to invest more and more money each year. So we hit $33,000 last year. If we could hit $40,000 this year, that would be great. So that is the plan. That is it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, drop a like down below, hit that subscribe button. I will see you in the next one. Actually, before you go, let us talk about how it feels to have these big goals. Sometimes it can feel like a heavy weight on your shoulders, but I want you to remember that money is just energy. It is there to serve your life, not to rule it. When I look at my spreadsheets, I do not see just numbers. I see freedom and peace for my future self. I see the ability to say yes to the things that matter and no to the things that drain me. You might be looking at your bank account and feeling like you are light years away from where you want to be. But please do not let that feeling stop you from taking the first step. The truth is that the biggest win in investing is not the final amount, but the habit you build along the way. When you decide to save that first $50, it is an act of self-love. It is you telling your future self that you care about them. It is you saying that you deserve to have a safety net and a life that feels stable. I have had months where things went wrong and I could not invest as much as I wanted to. And you know what? That is okay. Life is messy, and it is not a straight line. If you need to pause and take care of an emergency or just treat yourself to a nice dinner because you had a hard week, do not beat yourself up. The market will still be there tomorrow. We are playing the long game here, and the long game requires us to be kind to ourselves. So as you sit down to plan your own year of investing, please be gentle. Set goals that challenge you but do not break you. Celebrate the small wins because they are the building blocks of the big ones. I am so proud of each and every one of you for even clicking on a video about your financial future. It shows that you are conscious and you are ready to grow. That kind of awareness is rare, and it is going to take you very far in life. I am really lucky to have you as part of this community. We are all just walking each other home, and if I can help make your walk a little smoother, then I have done my job. Do not forget to breathe today. You are doing better than you think, and you have more time than you realize. Let us keep planting these seeds and watching them grow together. I cannot wait to hear about your progress in the comments. Whether it is your first investment or your 100th, I want to celebrate it with you. Stay focused, stay consistent, but most importantly, stay gentle. I will be right here with you through the green days and the red days, sending you so much love and clarity for your financial journey. Thank you for being here with me. I truly value your presence and your trust. Let us make 2026 a year of deep roots and steady growth. You have everything you need inside of you to succeed. Keep your head up and your heart open. I will talk to you very soon. Until then, take care of yourself and your dreams. They are worth every bit of effort you put in. Goodbye for now, my friend. See you in the next video. Take care.